What's up, It's your boy Domuto. We're back with another video today. We are watching UnrealEntGaming Beyond Dragon Ball Super. Gohan's new transformation unleashed. Ultimate Beast Gohan is born. Ooh-wee. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man. I was gonna wait to watch this tomorrow, but nigga, I saw Gohan new form. You know, Gohan, my boy. Where my figurine at? Alright, it's somewhere, but. Hey, oh shit, too early. Too early in the video. I'm excited. Too early in the video. I'm already pressing the shit. Anyway, but yeah, man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, bruh, for more reactions. And man, I'm ready to get into it. Let's get into it. Full power awakened.
As our story now continues following the initial training events involving both Beerus and Beast Gohan with only 2 hours remaining until completion, as with Angel of Alco making it clear that neither of the two are to stop fighting until they both evolve, was when Whis went on to then chime in. Well, I must admit that I'm starting to grow a little concerned for Gohan here, given what we are starting to see take place out there, and as despite his impressive resilience, it appears that Lord Beerus is beginning to overwhelm him little by little out there, Whis continues. And while his stamina is being pushed to its breaking point, I wonder if Gohan can muster the strength to endure much more of this as their training begins to wind on down. But what I would like to know from you is, do you believe that Gohan has reached the absolute limit of his full power out there against Lord Beerus, or does he still have some hidden reserves of strength left that lies deep within him that he could potentially draw out and onto the surface in order to finish this contest against Lord Beerus? As Angel of Aqua then went on to respond, well, it is difficult to say, because while Lord Beerus's methods of gradually wearing the mortal Gohan down little by little is proving to be quite effective, despite this, Gohan has shown a surprising capacity to challenge Lord Beerus's strength, which more than likely comes from something deep within this Saiyan that he is using as motivation. However, the critical moment for the mortal now is whether he can evolve and unlock his true potential during this moment of great stress and overwhelming pain, because if he fails to break through this glass ceiling, then destruction.
Nah, he gonna break through it. He gonna break through it, nigga. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's Gohan, nigga.
For them to take lightly in knowing of what was on the line, but thus far, it would seem as though Lord Beerus was able to edge this Saiyan out in battle, and even though it wasn't easy, this was exactly what I've been hoping to see, especially since this was what it was going to take for them to reach their untapped evolutions, and so the Saiyan is left with no other choice out there. And as for the reasons behind on what may be driving the mortal against Lord Beerus if Alco continues, whatever it may be likely comes from an internal circumstance ranging from a variety of things such as pride or protection, though the mortal doesn't come off as though he is doing this for the sake of his own pride, but more than likely it is something that he is looking to protect, Avalco says. Family perhaps, friends, but despite it all, none of it will matter if he isn't able to
not gonna matter
and descend, for it was exactly on why it was that they were brought here to me in the first place, with Whis responding, interesting, and so now tell me, what if only one of them are able to reach the pinnacle of their potential while the other stagnates and falls behind? Will that still count as a successful training session between them, with Avalco responding, no, not until they have both evolved throughout the time that they have both spent here, because remember, my job was to ensure that both of their evolutions were to be seen here, and not just one, Avalco says, and unless one of them cannot possibly find it within themselves to do it, then they will forever be left behind, for my training course are a one-time thing, and you know this, Whis. And unless Gohan doesn't push through the pain that Lord Beerus is shown putting him through and evolve himself by using whatever drives him into reaching his greatest potential, then the power that I sensed deep within him will forever remain dormant, and his time spent here training with me would have all been for nothing, and so I expect nothing more than progress, Avalco continues. Then since you already have the Saiyans back against the ropes out there, Avalco shouts, and I expect for you to go and finish the mortal off before he can
finish him all down, nigga. I thought he was just training.
Battle Lord Beerus. face, as I demand for you to hit that mortal much harder than how you were shown doing, which I also expect for Gohan to endure this punishment and pushback against you, no matter how badly he is shown losing here. And so now keep fighting and do not stop until I have given you the order to stop. Do you understand? In which this had now seemed to have been understood, because with Beerus then shown quickly having to take initiative in uppercutting Gohan in the stomach by dropping him out of his beast form, was when Beerus then went on to respond, "Sorry Saiyan, but I have gone through far too much in my time as a destroyer, especially as of recently with the former destroyers having to be resurrected, in allowing for myself to be bested yet again by the likes of you. As you should already remember as to whom you're going up against here, but maybe you've forgotten, and so allow for me to be the first to remind you then. And while I will admit that you possess a very unique and formidable power in this beast form that is vastly different from your father's Ultra Instinct and Vegeta's Ultra Ego, let me go on and remind you that I have been a god of destruction for a much longer time than you can ever even begin to imagine. And because of this, I cannot allow for myself to be overtaken anymore, regardless on if it comes from beings such as Universe 13's destroyer Reno, or if it just so happens to come by the likes of you. And even though you have also served as being a very formidable training partner during our training session, I cannot allow for a greater power than mine to exist, which is rooted within a mortal warrior such as yourself. As my place is to ensure that I am the best," Beerus continues upon Gohan being shown dropping out of his
talk your shit
then down to his knees, "to go back to where I once was without the risk of having what happened to me with Lord Reno to ever happen to me again. And so that is why you must fall, because if I am to go beyond my former glory and become the strongest destroyer among them all, then I will do what I must in order to see this through," Beerus continues. "And while you still have much to learn, unlike the angels, I don't see what's so special about this hidden power which Avalco had spoken of. And although you may have briefly displayed a unique power upon having to nearly beat Lord Gardox into submission when you did, your power ultimately still pales in comparison to mine, mortal. As the time for laziness is over, and by seeing your growth and the strength of warriors like you and your father continue to rise, has essentially made me realize that I cannot afford to be complacent, especially not while the former gods of destruction have been revived as well. For I will continue to strive for greatness, and I will crush all those who oppose me within the process if I must, as I will go and do whatever it takes to become the strongest once again, Gohan. For I have stood back and watched many try and wipe their feet on me as though I were their doormats, but no more," Beerus continues. "And while we still have another hour and a half remaining, it would seem as though that this will now be cut short since," but then it was only from out of nowhere just before
Beerus not the staff.
Opportunity to finish his sentence where Angel
Ivalco, chill out, nigga. They having a dialogue, nigga.
Damn. Shout, "Once again, I never said anything about taking a break unless I had given you the order to stop, and so if I didn't tell you to stop, then why did you stop when you were told to continue fighting, Destroyer? Because I certainly didn't say so, now did I? And until I give you the order to stop, and unless time completely runs out," Avalco continues, "you are to continue fighting even if you are destroyed or need to destroy, and so that is an order." "Well, my brother does have a point," Whis went on to then chime in, "and so he's right, my lord. And as I do suggest for you to listen to my brother while we still have the time, for he does know on what it is that he is doing after all," with Ivalco chiming back in, "and while I do not plan to go and remind you yet again, you need to adhere to the established rules that I have placed here before you, as pushing Gohan to his absolute limits is the only way to see if he can push back against you and meet the challenge at hand.
Damn.
So now go and do yourself a favor and remember as to why you are here," Saiyan. Avalco went on to then point his staff out by shouting, "for you are fighting for everything that you hold near and dear to your heart, and so now stand back up and continue to fight, or you will be destroyed. Think about those whom you fight for, along with the world that you've sworn to protect."
Okay, give me some advice. Okay, Ivalco, you're not too bad.
"Go and be for nothing. And so now rise back up and continue to engage your god of destruction, or else you will go and be destroyed in the process. For if you wish to never fall like this again, then you must endure this painful fire and emerge as a new warrior, and that is an order," Avalco continues. "Now going then continue to apply even more pressure onto the mortal, or I will personally go and see to it that I come over there and apply the pressure onto you myself. So Whis' brother truly wants me to go through with this and destroy the boy now, does he? Well, if that's what it'll take for me to ascend into becoming the strongest god of destruction, then so be it. As Valko then went on to continue, and so now go and finish the task that I have placed upon you both to undergo, or I will throw you both off my base and send you right back to where you both were before. Do you understand? So go and reach down deep and find whatever it is that drives you to want to go and do this, and drag your sorry carcasses right back up and fight. As I do not ever intend to train weaklings, and therefore demand for this battle to continue, as you both will continue to give it your all, or else you will both be disqualified and fail.
Damn.
As Gohan then went on to utter, "Oh, Angel of Valko is right. I just can't have this be what breaks me. If I essentially came here to evolve myself in order to protect the ones that I care about. You are completely out of your mind if you still believe that you can continue to brawl with me now that this beast form of yours has completely given way to my onslaught, Saiyan. But if you still wish to continue to push forward, then I will only continue to break you down until there is absolutely nothing left that remains, and so acknowledge your defeat so that way we could be done." With Gohan responding, You don't understand. I can't just go and fold now and simply surrender what I've worked so
You're right, Gohan.
for to achieve, Lord Beerus. I just can't. And that is because by the end of it all, what that perfect Cell Max had said about me prior to fighting Lord Gardox was true. Because I can't always rely on my father or Vegeta to come and save the day when the chips are down and stacked against me. As throughout my whole entire
Perfect
life,
Cell
I had
Max.
often depended on the strength of my father and others to see me through the darkness and into the light, which was exactly what Cell had gone and reminded me of. And while I know that there is something far greater that dwells within me, Gohan continues, I just don't know on how to draw this power out and use it like how I was shown using it against Lord Gardox. As it is because of the strength of my family that goes and gives me hope, and while I cannot continue to depend on my father or Vegeta to always be there to save the day, this is why I have to be the one. This is why I must be the one to step up when all else around me is down. And while I'd give anything and everything to protect them, how could I go and do that when I can't even go and
Getting your
protect
ass whooped, yeah.
myself? As Dad always knew that there was something very special about me since I was just a little boy, as he would always say that I possessed a power that was far greater than any other, and with it, I could never be beaten, and now is when I need that power so I am not defeated, Gohan continues. As no longer can I continue to let myself drown within my own doubts as a warrior, and that is because deep down I know that I have the power to create change.
You do, Gohan.
And just as it was long ago when my dad had looked at me and said what he had said, all I would need to go and truly do in order to become the warrior that I was always destined to be is to just simply let it go. To which, as soon as Beerus was then shown winding his leg back before having to kick Gohan, was when Beerus then went on to quickly respond, "A fine speech, Saiyan, but that isn't going to help save you from what you already have coming.
Already?
Do you understand?
Already?
This fight of ours is what the? But how did you just wait? What is this?" Beerus went on to question upon seeing Gohan stop his kick. "Oh, now hold on there for just a moment." Whis went on to then quickly respond. "Could this truly be? But I don't understand." Beerus went on to then shockingly look down by responding. "And just where in the world did this enormous level of power just come from if he was already out of gas and on his last dying breath just waiting to be defeated? Has he always harbored such such tremendous power like this before? Because even
But
if
he don't know Gohan like
was
we
I
know
not able
Gohan.
to see this coming from Goku's son before? For I've never went and felt anything like this in all my time, and so what exactly is this? As even Whis went on to then respond, goodness, what a gargantuan burst of power, and here I thought that I've seen it all, but could this be the very thing that you were seeing come from deep within Gohan's spirit, Avalko? Was this the power that you were hoping for Gohan to go and unleash? With Avalko responding, yes, for this was exactly the level of power that I was waiting for the mortal to manifest onto the surface, Whis. And so now we will watch and see what he will do, with Beerus having to then respond, oh no, I refuse to believe what it is that I'm seeing to be true because you were finished. And so how did you just suddenly come into existence from out of
That's
nowhere?
fucking Gohan, nigga. Don't try that nigga, son.
With Gohan then quickly shown having to lift his head up by then responding, and that is where you've went and made your first mistake, because what you see unfolding before your very eyes has always been there, just waiting to be awakened. And now it has, Lord Beerus, and while I now understand the full scope of what it means to be defined by your own potential, and for it to be grounded in what it is that you fight for, you will be the first to now witness my absolute all-destroyer. For I have come just as far and have undergone far too much just to go and simply lose now, because unlike you, I have something that's worth living, fighting, and dying for.
Clean.
Which seconds later, within that very moment, as Gohan then began to power up in transcending by having to evolve himself,
turn up,
further,
Gohan.
was when Ivalco then went on to respond, that's right, good, very good, as this was exactly what it was that I wanted to see happen between them here today. And since the mortal here was the first between them to go and do it, this just now means that Lord Beerus is next to go and do the same, with Whis responding, indeed, and what an incredibly massive surge of power this is, as I knew that I went and had seen something come from deep within the boy, but I just couldn't quite go and simply put my finger on just what exactly it was that I had sensed that was coming from him. But even now, nevertheless, here it finally is, as Beerus then went on to respond, so this was the power that I was able to see you briefly use to defeat Lord Gardox when you touched down onto my planet alongside with him. Yes, it all makes sense now, Beerus continues, as I am now finally able to understand fully on why Whis and Ivalco had spoken of you the way they did.
Yes, sir.
All this time for many, many years now without me even knowing that it was you. You're likely the one who I was able to see as my rival all those years ago.
Let me find out.
Because if not you, then who else, especially with a power such as this? But no matter how powerful you are or how strong you continue to get, I am who I am, and it's for a good enough reason. Well, that's a mighty fine display of power there, Saiyan. Beerus went on to then dash forward, but let us not forget about the difference between your power. What the? But he was standing right there, and now
No. This power different, Beerus.
How and where? Well, surely this has to be some kind of a trick, because there is no way that the mortal was faster than my eyes can keep track of. And so now where did he just run off to? But then it was suddenly just now from out of nowhere, as Beerus was now beginning to back up, and from that point them being shown having to bump into Gohan was when Gohan then went on to respond, running away would imply that I'd be too afraid to face you, but please trust me when I say that I am no longer scared to go and face anything, Lord Beerus, as the power that you feel and are moments away from facing is a power that only my father had ever had the chance to sense that had been coming from deep within me, and as the true nature of who I am at my very core has now been fully awakened, Gohan continues, as I am only now able to understand on what it means to dwell within the domain of the gods in power, with Beerus responding, why you? And do you honestly believe that you have what it takes to endure such a pressure? Tell me now, mortal, what exactly do you call this newly discovered transformation of yours then, Saiyan? With Gohan responding, yes, I actually do, and since what you are witnessing is my all, I'll just go on ahead and call this Ultimate Beast, Gohan says.
Ultimate
a level
Beast.
and a power that you have no chance chance in besting Destroyer, and with my true instincts awakened, Gohan continues, and with my ultimate power refined, what you see standing before you, Lord Beerus, is the perfect fusion of human and Saiyan might, Gohan says.
Okay.
As I will go on to make sure that you see exactly what it is that I mean the very moment that you and I re-engage once again, and that much I can promise you. No longer will I ever need to depend on others to save me, and no longer will I ever need to depend on anyone to protect my
Talk
friends
your
and
shit,
family.
Gohan.
Because with my true nature unleashed, I will be all that they will ever need. With Beerus responding, "Oh, is that what you truly think then, huh? Because it would seem as though you have inherited a little bit of that pride along with this great deal of power that you wield, mortal, but it'll take far more than a boost in power along with an inflated sense of pride that will be what stops me." Beerus went on to spin around by attempting to kick Gohan, but as soon as Ultimate Beast Gohan was shown having to effortlessly block off Beerus's kick by using his forearm was when Gohan then went on to respond, "And that is where you are wrong once again, Lord Beerus. For it isn't pride that you will hereby be going up against when facing me, but instead, what you will be tasked with in surviving will be the decades of pain and anger that I have kept locked away deep within me that had always been waiting for me to go and set it free."
Okay.
Which moments later in stunning fashion as Gohan went on to speed blitz behind Beerus, and from that point then being shown kicking Beerus right down onto the ground was when Whis went on to then chime in, "Goodness, and just look at the way Gohan was able to move out there when compared to how he was shown having to move before. For I haven't seen Lord Beerus be caught off balance this badly by a mortal in all my time, but even now as we watch this all unfold, is it possible that Gohan has now transcended himself far beyond the gods of destruction given the nature of the level that he is currently wielding at the moment, my brother? And I only ask because from what I can see taking place, unless Lord Beerus were to evolve himself, then I don't see him being able to do anything that would remotely come close in stopping Gohan. And so what do you think, Ivalco?" With Ivalco responding, "Well, even though it is still a little too early to say for sure, it is only upon having to observe what it is that we are seeing taking place here where I can safely say that I am now strongly convinced that the mortal has surpassed Lord Beerus in raw power by a large margin. For this new form of his has brought Gohan's full potential out and onto the surface,
Yes, sir.
which was coincidentally exactly what I was hoping that would happen here today, and unless Lord Beerus were to adapt himself and also evolve just as Gohan did," Ivalco continues, "then I'm afraid that there will be absolutely nothing that he could do that will be effective enough to bring the Saiyan down just as he was shown doing a few moments ago, and while there is still a chance for Lord Beerus to go and turn things around while there is still a bit of time remaining, if he doesn't go and do what he came here to do and remember why it was that he decided to train here, then the Saiyan
Damn,
will
Beerus, you got
continue
knocked
to
the fuck out,
smash
didn't
him
you?
until he is the only one between them who walks away from today's training as being the stronger of the two that is evolved. And while this is everything that Gohan was hoping and wishing that he could be, we will now wait and see on how Lord Beerus will respond against him, as it was only right then and there during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the resurrected fallen gods of destruction, the Universe 17 saga, manga
that boy
chapter number
look
4 special, then comes to a close.
That boy Gohan look clean. Boy, Ultimate Beast Gohan, bruh. Hey, woo-wee. Man, Gohan, that boy. What happened to that boy? Anyway, hold on. Ooh, I gotta stretch my leg out. Ooh, sorry. Anyway, Gohan, that boy. Hey. Shout out to UnrealEntGaming, man. Oh man, he put his foot in this one. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Check out the last chapter right here. Check out another video right here, man. Really, damn. Well, I can't wait to see the next chapter. I'm pretty sure the next chapter that boy Beerus gonna, well, probably not the next chapter. I forgot he's still doing the other story with the A plot, B plot, whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to see Beerus evolve. I'm trying to see that fight. Damn. Okay, I can't wait, man. Hey, if you like my reaction, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and man, I'll catch you next time. Peace.